In this video I am going to show you 6 most important things to consider in calendula plant care. Follow up this guide step by step and your calendula plants will definitely produces more flowers. The most important thing for growing calendula flower plant healthily is to water frequently. Unlike the other winter flowering plants, they requires a slightly higher amount of moisture in the soil. Frequent watering helps them grow very consistently. In the winter days the moisture evaporates very slowly, that's why you have to be very careful. It will be better if you let your calendula plant to stay thirsty for a while. As the soil goes dry, you can add a frequent amount of moisture in the soil. Here your soil mix plays a very big role, either it will drain out the extra moisture, or make it block. Blockage of moisture in the soil can cause many serious issues like a stunted growth and yellow leaves. So you should use a well-draining and loose soil mix to grow the calendula flowers. You can either buy a ready-to-use, well-draining mixture linked in the description box. Or you can also make a good mixture by mixing simple ingredients. A complete guide on making a well-draining soil mix is also added in the description box. You can check out that. Just make sure your soil mix is not staying wet for a long time. The moisture must keeps on draining time to time. Another important thing in calendula plant care is to keeps on pruning and deadheading. In both ways, the plant tries to push more and more buds. Hence it will be very beneficial. Oppositely, if you doesn't remove the dried and dead flowers, the calendula plant starts to make seeds. That is not good for its blooming health. At the younger stage of growing calendula flowers, you should also pinch them off. It helps in more and more branching. That ultimately leads to more buds and flowers. Providing a frequent amount of sunlight is also very important in calendula plant care. As it is a winter season flowering plant, you can put it in a full day of sunlight. Sunlight causes more buds formation and plant grows in a healthy way. A light-deficient calendula plant comes up with pale yellow leaves and less blooming. So you can place your calendula pot in a sunny spot. 3 to 5 hours of sun will be optimum and more than that will be good. Likely to other winter flowers, it is a sun-loving plant and low light area can harm it very badly. Some of other easy-to-grow winter flowers are added in the description box video. You can check them too. The next important thing in calendula flower plant care is the size of pot. The size of pot affects the size of your calendula flowers. The bigger pot helps in providing more space to the roots, and hence you will get flowers constantly. The winter flowering plants grow fast and smaller pot can cause root bounding, and you will find a very stunted growth, and almost no flowers. Ideally, your calendula plant must be planted at least in 5 to 7 inches pot. So must give it a bigger pot. Plastic pot is not a good choice as the chance of overwatering is much higher in it, as compared to a grow bag. So it's up to you. You can either buy grow bag from the description box link or water very carefully. Proper seasoning is one of the most important thing to achieve a healthy blooming on your winter flowers. Calendula flower plant starts its blooming as the springs comes up, and in the summers you wouldn't find a good growth on your calendula plants. So it is important to grow them in their season, that starts from early winter days and continue until late spring days. Summer season is its dormancy time and very small size flowers comes up in results of heat effects. So follow up the right time to sow calendula seeds, or buy their plants. The another important thing is the proper fertilization of calendula plants. They requires a very minimal fertilization, but a good fertilizer can get it on a heavy flowering. Deficiency of nutrition causes many leaf problems, that's why you have to choose a fertilizer carefully. The calendula plant stops to produce buds and flowers if the soil's pH is above 7. That's why your fertilizer must have an acidic effect on the soil. This thing helps in more and more blooming. You can't use cow dung or compost, because they wouldn't work much well. But you can make a homemade fertilizer by mixing a few simple ingredients. A complete guide is linked here. This fertilizer is easy to make and works just perfect to feed all type of winter flowering plants.